I've been watching some videos from flat earth debunkers lately. They include clips of flat earthers. And something that's making the rounds again, it seems to come in cycles, and the reason, or what's making the rounds again this time, is the same old tired argument that gravity does not exist. So flat earthers do not believe in gravity. And as far as I can determine, the reason they don't is because of this. They cite the Cavendish experiment as being hard to reproduce. There are clips all over the internet of people trying to reproduce the Cavendish experiment. And it's such a very sensitive experiment that it's far too easy to get false readings. So because of that, you can't reproduce, it's hard to reproduce. Therefore, it cannot be science, because for some reason science has to be instantaneously and easily proven every single time. So because it's not science and because it's not easily reproducible, it can't be proven. Because it can't be proven, it has not been proven. And because it's not been proven, it doesn't exist. So, according to flat earthers, gravity does not exist because the Cavendish experiment is extremely difficult to reproduce. So, they come up with a different explanation. They will show a jar, a container that contains 10, 15 different liquids in it. This one might be honey, this one might be milk, this one water, oil, so on and so forth. And every layer has a different density, and they stay separate one from each other because they have different densities and somebody is not stirring the jar vigorously. So they also have something like they'll drop in something like a cherry or an olive, or I forget exactly what it is, and these will tend to settle between the two layers, and that means that is denser than this one but not as dense as this one. They'll say that proves our point. Gravity does not exist. Things tend to separate into their own density layers, and that's why, since we are denser than air, just like the density picture that we've just shown you, we're pushed to the bottom of the container that is the atmosphere that we breathe, and we're being pushed to the surface of the earth. But why is this down and this up? Why is it that nobody trips over their light fixtures at 3 o'clock in the morning when they go to the bathroom? So that's one thing that they have to answer. Why is this down and this up? Why does nobody ever walk on the walls? Direction. That's one thing. The other thing is the air that we breathe. Air is 78% nitrogen, 20.9% oxygen, and 0.9% argon, and the rest of it is trace elements. But 99% of the air that we breathe consists of one of those three. Why is it we do not have a solid layer of argon, a solid layer of nitrogen, and a solid layer of oxygen? Why is it that in order for me to breathe, I do not have to go to the top of Mount Everest just to get the bottom whiff of oxygen? Why is it that it's a uniform ratio no matter where up or down the atmosphere you go? There is no separation of air constituents. You're going to get the same ratio down here as up there as up there. And even more than that, there's a separate thing called air pressure. It's a gradient of air pressure. If it was truly mixed homogeneously, for whatever reason, why do we even have a gradient of air pressure? What makes this air down here magically want to be at a higher pressure than the air up here or the air pressure up here? And has nobody ever run an experiment that takes a container like this, just simply seal it and wait, and have each layer separate into their individual components? Let's look at air pressure. So here's a barometer app for my phone. Right here, I'm measuring 29.854 inches of mercury. If I go up like this, about 2 feet or thereabouts, I get 29.853. 854. 855. 856. We can play this game all day long, and this is what we're going to see. The station pressure here will be lower than the station pressure here, will be lower than the station pressure over here. The phone uses the station pressure, the altimeter reading, to calculate your altitude. So let's just start recording. Now I'll calibrate this thing. Calibrate it a couple times until they agree. Okay, not quite. Let's try this again. Alright, close enough. So, according to this, I have 265.1 feet above sea level. Up here, 266.4. Down here, 263.2. Let's go to the basement. $264, and I'm slowly going down the steps. 262, going down, 260, 259, 258, 257. Now it's just stabilizing. I'm staying in one spot in the basement. 257.6. Let's put it on the floor. 253.7-ish. So, there we have it. The phone is measuring a constant change of air pressure based on the height off the ground, and it's turning that into an altitude reading. How is that possible? If the air is trapped in a container, why is the air pressure greater here than there? And if the air contains the same three elements here as here, why is there no separation? Why is there no separation, and why is there a change in pressure? I'm going to run another experiment just for the fun of it because I can. I'm going to put this in here, and then I'll get myself a plunger and seal this up. And now I'm going to create a vacuum. No, I think I just broke the seal. Let's try this again. But as you can see, when I draw a vacuum, this thing is measuring a height much higher than where I really am. And it is entirely based on air pressure. It is not based on anything else like movement of the phone. It really is a change of air pressure. So there we have it. As far as I'm concerned, that is proof of gravity.